friends, welcome back. We have learned so many good things in GameLab that if you have completed the previous sessions, you are all good to start coding your first game in GameLab. So you have learned variables, you have learned decision making, you have learned key and mouse events. Let's get started to create your first game in GameLab. Let me show you what we will be creating in this video tutorial today. So let me run it and show you what we will be creating in this session today. It is a speed test game, okay? And the player is supposed to click on this star or whatever sprite you want to choose. And at the end of the game, it will display a score. So here, as you can see, I have set the timer to 10 seconds, okay? The timer is set to 10 seconds. This sprite, a star, keeps on moving here and there whenever the player clicks on it, okay? And at the end of 10 seconds, it displays the score. You can modify it according to your wish. You may make it a 30 seconds game. You may also make it a 60 seconds game, up to you. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Before we start with actual implementation of code, I would suggest everybody to write a pseudocode. What is a pseudocode? A pseudocode is basically steps written in English language, not in the language or not in the syntax which my program or the compiler understand. No, pseudocode means write your logic, put down your logic on a piece of paper or on a notepad that should be describing the logic, step-by-step logic in plain English language. Okay, so let's take a look what we are going to create here or what we wish to create here. We want how it should be. First, we will have to create a sprite. So my pseudocode step 1 will say create a sprite. We know how to create a sprite. There are 3 steps to create a sprite. We will not be going into that detail in the pseudocode. Yes, but we know we need to create a sprite. Okay, create a sprite. After this, when the sprite is created, what do we want? The sprite is created when there is a click on the sprite should go to the random location. Okay, so it will be something like this. If mouse clicked on a sprite, okay, we will not be writing any command or anything, just simple plain English language, your logic, your thought process, how you will implement that particular game or particular program or whatever you want to implement. Okay, so if mouse is clicked on a sprite, if you notice, I have pressed a tab. It means if mouse is clicked on a sprite, whatever is in that indentation should be executed. So first thing, if mouse is clicked on a sprite, on the sprite, my score should be increased by 1. So I should write it like this: increase the score by 1. Okay, so now when we are saying increase the score by 1, so we should have a variable as well. So we should define a variable score. That should be before we are trying to use it. So here I'm saying define a variable score, increase the score by 1, and also move my sprite to a random X and Y location. Okay, isn't it simple? So let's first implement this much. Once this much is implemented, we will come back to this WordPad and we will add the logic to make it time bound. So, 1 minute or 30 seconds or 15 seconds, whatever you wish to. But before that, let's implement this much logic. Okay, so my step 1 is create a sprite. Of course, your first step is to create a new GameLab project. So let me create a new GameLab project for you guys here. Log into your code.org account and create a new GameLab project. Okay, so this is my new GameLab project. I will rename it to, say, for example, speed test. Or maybe test your speed. Test speed game. Okay, I save it. Step 1, it says create a sprite. So we all know we should always create a sprite outside the draw function. So let me create a sprite I am creating a star. You can probably create a ghost, or you can probably create a panther. You can name it Chase the Panther, Chase the Ghost, up to you. You can make the varieties out of this particular game, which I am going to tell you now. So create a sprite. Initially, let me put it at the 200 location, which is the center of my canvas. Okay, the second step, as all of you know, set the animation. Before setting the animation, I should have the animation. So let me pick up a star. This looks nice. Let me pick up this star. Now let's set the animation. Okay, animation is set. Let's see. I think we may have to resize the star because I want it to be very small, cute little star. Okay, draw sprite is missing. That is why it is not drawing my sprite. So it's too big. So let's resize it as well. You know how to resize, right? The scale is the command. Because it is too big, I would like to resize it to maybe 0.1. And let me see. Okay, looks nice. Now let's go back to this logic. It says define a variable score, and if mouse is clicked on a sprite, increase the score by 1 and move the sprite to a random X and Y location. So start doing this. We should always declare the variables also outside the draw function so that they are not redrawn again and again, and they have a global scope. What is the meaning of global scope? Don't worry, that will also come in the next chapters. But for now, just understand, we should also declare variables outside the draw function always. So I am declaring a variable score, and I reset the value to 0. Okay, sprites are drawn. Now come the logic. If mouse is pressed over, if mouse is pressed over a sprite, this is the event we will use. Mouse pressed over, it takes a parameter, which is the name of this sprite. Okay. If mouse is pressed over a star, what do we want? We want the score to be increased by 1. Okay, means a score is equals to score plus 1. Whatever was the current value of a score, increase it by 1. And second step, we want to move the star, that is my sprite, to a random location. So I will say star.x is equals to random number. Minimum and maximum, we will keep it like, between 10 to 390 because the size of the canvas is from 0 to 400. And similarly, my Y position should also be a random number between 10 to 390. You can keep it from 0 to 400 as well. Your wish. I was just trying to avoid it going to the extreme left, right, or up and down positions. That is why 10 to 390. So what next now? Let's reset, run it, and see if it is working fine or not. Okay, as you can see, it is jumping to a random location, but there is a problem. It is not erasing the earlier drawn sprite. So what we will have to do, again, the classic mistake, we should put the background. So in this case, my background is white. Let's put this of a gray color so that it gives like a twinkling star feeling. So I will change the background color to gray, not here. It should be before drawing the sprite. Okay, always we should paint the background before drawing the sprite. Otherwise, what will happen? My sprite will be drawn, and over that we will paint our background. So my sprite will not be visible. So make sure that always first you change the background, or first you paint your background. To this command, I say, paint the background. Make sure first you always paint the background and then you draw your sprite. So let me reset and run it. Yeah, so you can see it is jumping to here and there. Okay. What next? If I try to think here, see, we are taking the score, and this variable is score, but we are not displaying it here. So if mouse is clicked on a sprite, we should also display the score. Somewhere we should display the score. So I will go back, and here I will also display the score. We know which command to use. We will actually write a text that will display the score. Okay, so here we should display the score at which position, maybe somewhere here. So that is 180 and 20. At 180 and 20. Let's see if it displays the score or not. So that should be the current score to be displayed. We should actually keep it outside so that the score is visible all the time. I think this color of the text is also gray. Yeah, color of the text was also gray. That is why it was not coming. So let me change the color of the background as black and then see. Yeah, so you can see this this is small sized score is visible now here. If you want, you can also change the text size. I believe you know how to change the text size. So let me change it to 20 and see if it is good enough. Okay, 20 seems good enough. Now, instead of 180, let me change it to 198 and 20 so that it comes in the middle. Yeah, so you can see the score is changing. What next? Now we want to time limit it. We want to time limit it to, say, for example, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20, 30, or 1 minute game, as you wish to. So what we will have to do? So we will have to put a logic that if time is here, we will implement it only for 10 seconds so that, you know, we can quickly test it also. Later on, once you test it and everything is fine, you can increase the time. So if time is less than 10 seconds, okay, if time is less than 10 seconds, then only we want this game to run. Otherwise, we want this game to stop. Okay, so what we will do, we will say if time is less than 10 seconds, then only you should have all this logic, you know, checking if mouse is clicked on the sprite or not. Again, if you notice, I have put the indentation so that it indicates that if time is less than 10 seconds, again, I have given a more indentation so that you understood that if time is less than 10 seconds, then only this entire code should be executed. Now else, okay, if time is not less than 10 seconds, means it is greater than 10 seconds, right? So else, what do we want? Else we want to make the sprite invisible. Okay, what else do we want? Display the final score. With a message maybe, okay? So very carefully now we will have to implement this nested if. You can see this is called nested if. A if inside a if is called a nested if. We already have a if statement written here, but now what do we want? We want this if statement, or, you know, this entire piece of code should be executed only and only when time is less than 10 seconds. So how do we check if the time is less than 10 seconds? If you come here to the world toolbox, okay, in the world toolbox, you will see this command, world.seconds. This world.seconds tells you the exact number of seconds since the program has started. Okay, so this is the command that we will use. So I will put it like this: if word.seconds, okay, less than 10, means if it is less than 10 seconds, then only do something. What is that do something? This entire thing. So I will do a cut paste and put everything inside this word dot second is less than 10. Okay, and see, again, I am working on indentation because indentation makes your program more readable. So make sure whenever you are writing your code, you make the indentations correct. Okay. So if word.second is less than 10, then only it will read the mouse pressed over event, and then only it will also show you the text. Okay, so let's run and see. Let's see what will happen after 10 seconds. See, 10 seconds are gone. I am clicking on this star, but nothing is happening now. So instead of nothing is happening, we want to display the score. So I will add a statement else. As per my pseudocode also, I want to make the sprite invisible and display the final score with the message. So I will say star.visible is equals to false. Okay, and display a message that will probably say game over something. So I will increase the text size a little bit, maybe 40, and display the message. Game over at maybe this position. So that will be 90, around 90 and 150. Let's see if we are having the game over message at the right position. That is why I had kept it 10 seconds. Otherwise, we will have to keep on playing this. Yeah, this looks good to me. Game over message. And we will also have to text the score. What is the current? What was the score? Probably I can put it here. 100 and 190. Okay, reset and run. Game over, score is it. Okay. So one thing I just want you guys to notice, when here I am putting the message game over, my game over message is coming in double quotes. Okay, while here when I am putting the score, it is not coming in double quotes. Why? Because score is a variable. We want the variable's value to be replaced here. Okay, while whenever we put anything inside double quote, it means it is a message or it is a value that will not be replaced. It will be used as it is. While here we want the value of a score variable to be replaced here. That is why it is not in double quotes. So always make sure. We can do one more thing to make it more readable. We can actually concatenate it with a score message, something like this. Okay, concatenation comes with plus sign. I can put up a video regarding this string concatenation if you guys are really interested, but this is how we do it. You can take a look. Game over is correct. Okay. I hope you liked the video and you enjoyed a lot creating your first game in GameLab. So create this game in GameLab and share your experiences with me. See you soon. Bye-bye.